Hey guys, I hope you're doing well. This has got to be the longest time I've spent sanding and staining a guitar. And here's what I've come up with. So I started off this build wanting to try and do something different. And so I picked up some Angelus leather dye. So this is a mahogany body with a flame maple veneer on top. And you can see there are a couple of imperfections here, a lot of glue marks and one or two more spots. I'm hoping with some sanding this will be addressed and we'll be able to apply a nice stain on top. I do like the recessed controls, and the pockets have been routed very neatly, I have to say. I haven't seen such a neat job in a while on kits, so kudos to them. Here's the back. It comes with these plastic covers. I would love to replace these with some wooden cavity covers if I can pull it off. I'm not really sure, but I might attempt them this time permitting, of course. You can see the joins a little better now with this lighting. So there's one over here, and there is a glue mark across. There's one more here. Let's take a look at the neck now. This is a beautiful neck. It has been cut really nicely. Slight ding here, but that's really minor. By the time I've sanded this down, it should be okay. I do like the bullet inlays. They look very nice. There's a slight dot. I'm not sure if that's going to come off or not. It's definitely something that's sitting in the wood. If you're wondering where the nut is, they have packed the nut in the components bag. And then you have the truss-rod adjustment over here. Now let's see how well the neck fits onto the body. I would have liked it to be a little tighter, but it's not too bad. I wouldn't say it's loose, but it could be a little more snug, so hopefully I don't have to shim this joint. So instead of actually gluing it and then working on the stain, what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish the body and the neck separately, and that should build up a little bit more material, which should make this joint snug. There you go. So next step, let's get out some 320 grit sandpaper and we'll work on the veneer. Okay, I've got some 320 and I'm going to go real light. I think I'll have to use a different approach to take out the glue stains because I don't want to sand too much. It's very thin. I have some rubbing alcohol at home. From what I've read up, there are 3 alternatives, or maybe 2. The first one is naphtha, which seems to be the most common approach. But since I'm doing this indoors and you need really good ventilation for naphtha, I've decided on rubbing alcohol instead. What I'll do is I'll dilute it a bit. So I've got a small damp paper towel. Never done this before, but there's only one way to find out if it's gonna work or not. So I'm gonna go closer here. Try again with a little more. Not really working, is it? Okay, I'm gonna go a little more aggressive now. I'm just gonna go with rubbing alcohol directly, and let's see if we get better results. I think we'll have to try a different approach. I'm going to use some sandpaper, see if I can get this down a little. Okay, I've sanded the body down to 320 back and front. Now I'm just going to wipe it with a damp paper towel, and we should see some of that grain, and the grain has raised quite a bit, so that's good. Just going to do the rest of the body. So you get a rough idea what it's going to look like. Sanded it down to 320 and wiped it down with a wet cloth. Re-sanded it. As we are at the most exciting part of the build now, staining this guitar. I'm going to be using Angelus leather dye, and I've got an orange shade over here. My plan is to just stain the flame maple right now. I might do the front of the headstock. Never done this before, so it's always fun the first time, right? So I'm just making a little applicator here. I should have put some gloves, I guess. Too late for that. So take a look at that. Okay, I'm going to switch to a piece of cloth because the paper towel is shedding a lot over here. Too bad about the gloves. Hopefully this stuff comes off easily. I don't want it to sit too long. I think it's looking pretty damn good. It's just the edges I'm a little worried about. I'm not really sure how best to do these finer edges. I want these grains to be really dark, so I'm just going to put a little more once and for all, and then move on to the top of the neck. That's a pretty neat edge. So I'm going to leave it at that for now. This is going to dry for some time. So guys, I've cleaned it up. As you can see, all the overstaining has been taken care of. I just went over it with some sandpaper and cleaned all the edges. Fairly simple process. So now I'm going to work on the sides, and for that I'm going to use some Danish oil. It's a medium walnut tint, so should darken the wood just a little bit. Shake it well. And I have gloves this time, so I've let the guitar dry overnight. There is still a little bit of stain. I've heard such great reviews about this leather dye, but personally I didn't like it at all. I thought it just took way too long to dry. Now I may have applied a very generous coat of this dye, but I wasted almost a week waiting for it to dry. And to be fair, the temperatures here were just hovering above 0 degrees. So what I had was, the top was orange and the rest was brown, but it just didn't stand out, it just looked almost like it blended in. So I decided, let's just start again. So I sanded the entire guitar down to bare wood as best as I could. Keep in mind now we've got orange that is already in the deeper grain, and this is a very thin veneer, so I removed as much as I could. The good news is all those glue marks are gone. And then I applied some Danish oil with a clear tint and some blue pigment, and this is what I came up with. There is a little bit of gunstock finish at the back, kind of infused, just to give it that very rustic but a very smooth and very nice finish. I also applied the same finish to the neck, and I think it looks really nice. Now, one thing I took a chance with, I went and clear coated this at 4 degrees. I had probably 2 hours of sunshine outside, and I said I'll just take a chance. And I have to say I was pleasantly surprised. The finish came out pretty smooth. I followed all the right techniques. This was my first time applying a clear coat on a guitar, so I definitely did my overspray and tried to be as even as possible, and I'm very happy with the results. I have sanded this down with wet dry 1000 grit, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. I think moving forward I'm always going to clear coat my guitars because I never realized it was this simple. So now I'm really excited to finish this guitar, and hopefully my next video won't take as long. With that, I wish you all a great 2025, and I'll see you in the new year. Bye now.